Alright, I'm not going to bore you with the stupidly long intro. I know that's the exact line from the first ever Iceberg video ever, but basically I've had to re-record this about 3 times including this time, so I'm not even going to try to bore you to start. All you need to know is my name is Game Guy. I'm the co-owner of Fresh's Discord server. If you're here, you definitely know who Fresh the Pig is, and you know how different his Discord server is from his personality he shows on his YouTube channel. And you probably know the convoluted history of it that I explained in a prior video. If you didn't see that, it's probably in a card in the top right corner. So what we did after I released that history video is we made an iceberg. It was originally, I think, brought up by either Nick Knob or Caro Plays, or even myself, I forget. But we made an iceberg together, and they proposed that someone make a video about it, and I said I didn't want to do it, so Sino did it. He did it in a really casual fashion, and I asked him, do you mind if I just make my own video, with a serious take on it and with more explanation? He said go for it. So after 2 attempts and 2 hours of my life wasted, I'm here finally. If the audio is still fucked, I really don't care. I just want to get this audio edited in this video out. So without further ado, let's take a look at the iceberg that I made, which is different from a Sino. So hey, my name's Game Guy. Let's get into the Fresh the Pig Discord server iceberg. Fresh is a furry. This refers to how, in the server, we often make fun of Fresh and call him a furry, and has just made a lot of jokes about it. It's very commonly known that it's a joke and no one takes it seriously, but you never know, it could be. Screenshots. Screenshots are just a common joke mechanism in the server. We just screenshot funny shit and just send it later. It's been around for a long time, but it's really common in other Discord servers, so that's about it. The best controller player. This refers to Fresh, often calling himself the best controller player, or the best Hive Suma player, or the best PS4 player. Along that lines, it's just really common for him to say, so it's made fun of sometimes. And it's really common for other people too to call themselves the best controller player, but Fresh calls himself it a lot, so we just kind of make fun of him for it. Bacon jokes. Bacon jokes are just jokes people make of Fresh that are not funny whatsoever. It's really, really old. It's often stereotypical, I guess you could say, or stereotyped, with new gens that come into the server with no knowledge of Fresh or his personality, so they're really bad. They are really bad, and we just make fun of people who make them. I know I've said that we make fun of a lot of people so far, but I promise, I swear to God, we don't make fun of people all the time. This is just jokes. You killed me in. This refers to people join the server and say, oh, Fresh the Pig, you killed me in Hive Skywars 2 days ago, and then they proceed to say nothing at all. They just come in and act like Fresh will acknowledge them when he kills hundreds of people a day. Banana Gang. This is a inside joke in the server. Basically, some of our members had the banana costume, and they ended up making a joke gang, or a organization, I guess. You could say it's an organization. It's all jokes. It started back in mid-gen, and eventually people joined in on it. Some influential members include Michael, JM, Braille started the banana lore. I believe he started it, don't quote me on that. Fresh the Pig never dies. This is a catchphrase Fresh usually says. Not usually, but he says it sometimes when he has a really nice play or kills a lot of people. It was more common back in the day when his name was TechnoFresh, because he was a Technoblade simp, and he just copied the Technoblade never dies, and he just said TechnoFresh never dies, and it hit better, but he just says it sometimes nowadays, and it just doesn't hit, in my opinion. Generations. I explained this in my history video, but there's basically old gens, new gens, and mid gens. That just categorizes when you joined the server and when you started watching Fresh, so that's about it. It's common to it's stereotypical to make fun of new gens because, they're new and have no knowledge about Fresh or the server, and to respect old gens because, they've been around for a while and they know the inner workings of the server. Trolling and griefing. This just refers to how throughout the server's history we've had our fair share of trollers and griefers, like the griefing of the first server, and some people have botted back in the day and sent some really good messages that we totally deleted because no mods were online. And same thing with trolling, we've had our fair share of trolls. The name change. Back in spring of 2021, Fresh changed his name to Fresh the Pig from TechnoFresh MC. It's pretty commonly known, but some people still don't know about it to this day and don't know why Fresh is sometimes referred to as Techno. He changed his name because he wanted to distance himself from Technoblade. He was originally a simp for Technoblade, and he wanted to distance himself if he ever got big. Ant Guitar. This is the longest lasting thread in the server. It started back in December of 2021 when Ant announced that he was getting a new guitar, and Fresh replied with Ant Guitar, and just people have been replying ever since then. There's nothing really bad about it. The only thing is, if you reply in that thread with anything that doesn't say Ant Guitar, it will get deleted and you will be punished. Dead chat refers to when the chat is actually dead and how the chat doesn't have a lot of active times nowadays. But it also refers to how it's really common for people to acknowledge the dead chat and just have nothing to say for it except to say dead chat. There was even a dead chat role that people would @ when the chat was dead, but I ended up deleting it and people threw a fit, obviously, but it really didn't do anything in my opinion. Stream snipers refers to just people that stream snipe Fresh. Some of the most common ones are JM, Michael, and Ajora. The death of Tycom. This refers to how Tycom, one of the oldest members, active members, and the server recently left just to live his life. He ended up leaving on the 365th day of his dank memer streak, and he is yet to return. He was admin, and I rose to fame with them, so it was actually pretty emotional, and it was really bad because that was 3 days after I came back from a break. This was kind of what inspired me to make the history video that I released, and was a really great hit with all the members in the Discord, so it also kind of allowed me to get co-owner because Ant basically stepped up as the new admin, and I was allowed to go up as co-owner because none of the co-owners are active. Ant Sinks refers to how Ant has a obsession with sinks. It's been ongoing for a really long time now, but he asks for pictures of people's sinks, and he went on a really long explanation of why he worships sinks. I don't have it on me while I'm reading this off. I'm probably gonna show it right now. He spent 10 minutes typing it, and it's really convoluted, and how a sink saved him and now he worships them or something. I don't know, but yeah, he's just obsessed with sinks, and we just go with it, I guess. Role begging is when someone joins the server and just begs everyone for roles. They just look at me or Ant or anyone that has a lot of roles, and they're like, oh my god, can I have this role? Can I have this role? When in reality, they're usually custom roles, or they're just stuff that are inside jokes and they actually wouldn't get it. It's really common for people to ask for roles immediately. They don't really simp anymore, nor do they care, because they usually stop after a day. This is drastically different than what happened back in 2020, which we'll get to that in a second. Moderation in mid-gen. This refers to how in mid-gen it was really easy to get mod, and it was just really corrupt on how you could just get mod by just being in the server and like playing with Fresh in Minecraft for like a week or so, and then you just get mod just like that. In relation to old gen, you had to simp for months on end to even get acknowledged in the community by Fresh, so it was just kind of weird to see that jump from really strict to just being really lenient. And this moderation tactic ended up getting the server deleted, so that's why Fresh basically changed his entire site on moderation for the 4th server. The Sanctuary, this is my server that I created on February 22nd, 2021. This date will become relevant later, but that's just about it. I invited a lot of members from Fresh's server to it, and I invited some friends from outside it. That's just about it. It's a private server. It's basically a group chat, if I'm being honest, so that's just it. People have asked me over time to get in it because there's some members from Fresh's server that are only in that server now, but they've denounced from being in this server, so there's really nothing I can do, and I only invite members that I feel like would fit the atmosphere in there, because if I'm being honest, the atmosphere in there is different than any other place that I've been, so in a good way. Simping for roles doesn't refer to nowadays simping for roles, because it really doesn't happen much. It refers to how back in the day you had to simp a lot, like go to every stream and talk to Fresh pretty much whenever you could, to even have a chance of being acknowledged by him and to get roles, which roles back then were basically like medals of honor. That sounds really stupid, but that's just how it was, because Fresh was, and he'll agree with me on this, he was kind of a douchebag back then, so they really didn't care about others. Ziff's name changes. This just refers to how Ziff has changed his name like 4 times, and we joke with him a lot. Like I said, I think he's changed it like 4 times. I'll get screenshots if I can, but he even like promised us that like that was like one of his name changes was permanent, and I came back a month later and it was completely different. So Game Guy's absences, every once in a while I either get an existential crisis or I just think too hard about things and my mind gets the best of me and I then end up leaving, which at this point, this is permanent now. I don't think I'm ever gonna leave now because of just not an existential crisis, but moreover a realization, which I got into at the end of my history video, so I'm not going to go over it here. But it's not happening again. I'm not leaving ever again. I'm sticking until the end. So basically what happened is that I just got irrational decisions and just decided, you know what, fuck all this, I'm leaving. And that happened about 4 times, so that just refers to all 4 times that I left. Pope/presidency refers to how back in the day, Kara Plays appointed himself as Pope and used it to become popular in the server. I remember this personally, it was fucking awesome. And then he later ran for president. Who he ran against, I have no idea, but it again was really good for his reputation. I think he even had fan art made of him as president by Lunar. So Isoda and Hannah e-dating. Isoda, another popular member, well, infamous I guess, got really close with Hannah, a close friend of Fresh, acquaintance, we'll say acquaintance. So they ended up getting pretty close after a few months, and while she never talked in Fresh's server, we could see how close their relationship was getting through what Ice was doing. So it was a pretty popular thing to make fun of them, and after a while, after Ice kind of leaked his own DMs, we actually got an inside look at it to look where it was kinda where they were e-dating, but also no. So to this day, they've both separated. Ice has went on to basically go full IRL life, and Hannah, I think, is out of the community, if I'm right. I have no idea, but they're separated now. Eli's Holiday. Back in 3.0, an intrepid troller by the name of Colorful, aka Hey It's Eli, joined and trolled everyone, and eventually he got banned. It was then celebrated, saying by that day would be celebrated for years to come. What that day was, it's not entirely known. So no one really remembers what day it was, but it's just a day where we would celebrate when Eli got banned. But interestingly enough, he joined the 4th server and ended up getting banned again, and eventually made a new account and joined pretty recently actually. So he stopped trolling and is now actually a pretty decent guy. Rubixel beef. Back in fall of 2021, we got into some pretty hot water with Rubixel. He was getting in controversy with the community, with the whole Hive community, so it wasn't just us, of making short form content that was just really bad, not bad, but scummy in my opinion, of just like making really low effort videos that just got tons of views and put yourself in the algorithm. We kind of marked it as just lazy editing that allowed you to ride the algorithm that got you nowhere. And he ended up joining the server and just kind of shit talking us. We ended up raiding his server, quote unquote. He mocked us even more. One of our server members, Piggy McCool, super nice guy, made some videos about him, and eventually the whole thing kinda died down. Like, it eventually died completely, but it just kinda cooled down after like a month or two. The reason why we were so heated about this is because back in the day of 2020, Rubixel made a collab with Fresh, and it was actually pretty well received, and his editing was pretty good back then. So I had some pretty choice words about it because I knew what he could be at his full potential. And he was just kind of being a bitch about it and just riding the algorithm. But eventually he stopped this short form content style and went back to a style that actually got you out in the algorithm. He later joined the server and privately apologized to the person that made videos about him. He didn't publicly apologize, but I went on record to tell him that I liked the new content and we were sorry for what we said, and he accepted that apology. So the beef is completely squashed by now. I mean, at this point, no one cares about the controversy whatsoever. It's all dead. Old gens who left. There's been multiple old gens that have just left over the course of the entire server lifetime, for reasons I won't go into because honestly they're kind of diverse. These include, and I'll get to some of these in a little bit, Kitty, Andesite, Swift, Val, Tycom, Landon, Tuna, the list goes on. And like I said, they left for their various reasons, so I'm not going to go into it right now. Okay, this is where like the iceberg kind of takes a dark turn, so I'm just going to say it right now, viewer discretion is advised. Alright, Rapot and Mystic were both trollers in the server that have kind of left. They were both known and actually pretty well respected in the server until it was kind of found out that like Rapot really didn't care what happened to him. He really was kind of a loose cannon and a jack of all trades because he could say anything and everything that he wanted, and he really couldn't care what other people thought about it. This included saying some very choice words that people didn't agree with, bullying people, and some other things. But when he was nice to us, we kind of ignored it. So he went on this, not rampage, but moreover reign, for well over about a couple months. Mystic was kind of like Rapot, but he actually had a good side that he showed more than anything, and he actually did have empathy, unlike Rapot. He was actually had a really good side to him, to the point where I actually invited him to Sanctuary, and he was actually well liked there. He just didn't fit in, and he just left by his own accord. I didn't kick him out or anything, so that's just kind of to show you how much of a well-respected person he was. But when his bad side showed, it was obvious that it was basically Rapot. Alts refers to just alternate accounts in the server. There's probably a good amount of alts in the server right now. In fact, some include Tycalm had an alt, I had an alt for a while, Kitty had an alt, some other alts that people trolled on, that were banned, so on and so forth. Lunar Toothpaste. This was an artist that was in the server for quite a long time. They made thumbnails for Fresh for a good amount of time until they eventually just left altogether. I think they left like 3 or 4 times, but the last time was permanent, I believe. They also made fan art for other people in the server, including Carol Plates, like I mentioned before, and some other people I'm probably forgetting. Astrid was an old gen in the server. He eventually left, but he was really known for PvP. He was an old gen, but he actually got his, he got known in mid-gen, and was really known for actually uploading videos of pack folders, PvP montages. I don't know exactly when he left, I'll probably have it up on screen right now, but it was pretty recently, and we haven't heard from him since. Lil Kettle was a very influential member in the server, also goes by Kitty, was Fresh's best friend for a while, supported him for a long time, co-owner in pretty much every server, was active pretty much every day, was in a lot of streams, good amount of videos, had an SMP with Fresh, and just overall was someone that if you were an old gen, you knew who she was always in chat, and she's a really big influence on what changed Fresh's personality back then. And she left in, well, we'll get to that in a second. Skittle, another really influential member in the server. He met Fresh playing Skywars back in 2020, and they just friended each other and they just started playing together. Obviously, Skittle is way more developed in the PvP community now that he's on PC, but he was moreover only known in the Fresh community back then, and he's actually how I got my name out pretty fast and efficiently back then, because Skittle recognized me as a real one. He recognized that I wasn't like the average fan that simped all the time. I actually gave everyone their boundaries and actually was a cool dude. He actually gave me my first custom role, so that was pretty cool. He's now known in a lot more communities than this one. He only visits a couple times, but D-Day. This day, February 22nd, 2021, was extremely influential. As I referenced before, this was when I created my own server, the Sanctuary, but I didn't go over the reason why. It's because Kitty left the server that day. That's the day that the server changed forever. That's why I named the day D-Day, because from that day on, everything was different. The entire server morale and personality changed completely, and it's basically what formed my server. The reason why Kitty left is really convoluted, but it started because Techno was deleting custom roles that people had worked months to go for, and he just thought people were being petty. But in reality, we worked really fucking hard for those roles and didn't want them gone. Because of things going on behind the scenes between everyone, drama we didn't see, Kitty had enough and had left the server forever. We started talking in DMs, and I was like, do you want me to invite some people to a group chat that you usually talk to? And she was like, sure. So I invited a good amount of people. After that, I said, this group chat is kind of small, do you want to move to an actual server? She said, sure. And that's what formed my server. Both parties were pretty much complaining at each other, behind closed doors. AKA Fresh was complaining about Kitty, and Kitty was complaining about Fresh, blah blah blah. And like I said, that's what separated everything. A couple of days after I created my server, I had left Fresh's server also, and didn't return until a couple months later. Who deleted the third server is actually a typo. It's moreover who deleted the third general. So, like I mentioned before, the moderation in mid-gen was absolutely terrible, and it's a surprise that that server didn't get deleted months before. But what happened is someone got mod perms, no one knew him. And what happened is he deleted general, the entirety. And then after that, the whole server eventually fell with it. And that's what soon made the next server that basically convinced everyone else to join with them, which actually got me to join back too. The thing is, we aren't entirely sure who that person was, if they're still in the community, or if they left, who their name was, if they were a known person or not. We have no idea. Sino thought he knew the name to it, but he wasn't entirely sure, so I'm not even going to bring it up. Just go watch his video if you haven't already. It's basically the entire groundwork of this video, so that's one of the things I think that will forever be lost to history now. Yuve is a Discord account that joined a lot of small Bedrock Edition YouTubers like Fresh, Sneedy, TNT, and people alike. Back then he was very neutral and actually not mean, but if provoked he definitely shot back. And this is the reason why he was feared, because Fresh got into an argument with him and he was completely destroyed by Yuve's vocabulary and overall knowledge, and that's the reason why he was feared back then. This was back when Yuve was really active. Nowadays, even though he's joined the latest server, he's not as active, so whenever we at him, he never responds. I honestly think he's talked about like 4 times in the server. Some people speculate he's a bot, other people speculate he's a troll. Honestly, I have no idea. The personality switched from old gens to mid gens. I referenced this earlier, but basically right when Kitty left in D-Day, that was kind of the point where the personality of the overall server switched from a chill and laid back to moreover kind of a sweaty and more gameplay based personality, to the point where toxicity was kind of really, really obvious. Basically, once D-Day happened, everything changed, like I explained before. Deleted videos refers to how just Fresh has deleted videos. Some of these include videos from like 2 years ago, some random videos like him quote-unquote face revealing, stacking random Minecraft figurines up on each other, old montages, some random videos, stuff like that. I actually set an archive on the Wayback Machine from like January when these videos were still up, so I have footage of them I'm probably going to show right now. Not all of them are showing because obviously I only got the front page of the channel, but I can show at least some of them. I think Sync Reveal was one of them, so yeah. 1.0 and 2.0 deletion. 2.0 wasn't actually deleted, it was kind of like abandoned after a while, but 1.0 was deleted by a mod that went AWOL, and the second server was abandoned because Fresh lost access to his Discord account and then made his alt his main and just made a new server and everyone joined that. The reason why we can't access the second server anymore is because the server doesn't have invite perms to normal members, so you can't invite anyone unless you're an admin or the owner. Well, the owner doesn't have access to his Discord account and all the admins have left now, so the only people that are in there are like 8 members, I think, that are all inactive except 2, I think, so that's how I got some screenshots from in the middle of there. Shout out to you, TNT, you're the best. You know, I'd love to say the credits, but I'm really tired. It's currently 2 a.m.